Hi guys, and welcome to RCC Adventures. Now today we're doing something that we haven't been able to find on YouTube, so it could be a first. We might not have been able to find it, it might have been done before, but I haven't been able to find it, Dad hasn't been able to find it, so it's possibly a first. So let's show you what I mean, because as you can see I'm at the front of the house, which usually means Betty or the Chrysler, but today's Betty, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So if you look closely, you can see that she's up in the air again, because more work is being done. If I show you in here, you'll see that there's no steering arm. In fact, there's no steering rack, because the rack is out. So yeah, this is what I mean by it's possibly a first. People have put videos on there about removing the steering rack, and the only reason why the wings are on, that I've been informed, is for the fact there's nowhere to put them, so they're loosely put on at the moment. But yeah, so there's videos out there showing how to remove the steering rack and how to put it back in, but what I'm going to show you in a minute is what hasn't been done before, which is, it's going to be a learning curve because it's the first time that we're attempting it and we have no idea what we're doing as such. And the whole reason why this is happening is for the fact that, if you remember in the previous video, I think a few videos ago now, that went back for the MOT, and it was the update video that I'm thinking of. Went back, and everything that it had failed on before, that was all good, but there was some play in the steering rack. But it was only moving when there was no weight on the wheels. So didn't think much of it, but then we thought more about it, and we can actually see it moving in the way that we thought it was kind of moving, and it was like, okay, we need to sort this, rather than just leaving it and it getting worse and worse. So yeah, the steering rack is out. So yeah, we're going to go down to the bottom of the garden where the steering rack is now, and we're going to show you taking it apart, working out what we need to get, what we need to fix, scratch our heads. So yeah, it's not going to be simple.
Right. Need to get these arms off. So to do that, I've got to cut that off, which is an anti-rattle rubber thing. So I've got to cut that off so I can get a puller behind. But to get this one off, it looks like I'm going to have to take this and do this track control ball joint end. So I've got to unscrew the cap from there, which I think the bits are in Betty. So that's the plan, get that off once the arms are off, and then I can look at getting the rack out. So
this is looking from the front of the engine, isn't it?
yeah, the gearbox would be here.
Yeah.
What it is, there's a suspension arm. There'll be another one that side, and that's where the wheels would be.
Yeah.
And then the drive shaft comes out here to the gearbox, which is here. So that is cross beam, axle, whatever you want to call it, axle tube, and the steering rack's in it.
You've got to try and get that out.
Yeah, so I spent about 5 hours yesterday trying to get it off the car on my own, which was entertaining. Done it, it's all off, as you can see. We didn't film it, so the plan would be is we're going to take photos and maybe some video or something like that when it all goes back in, but that obviously isn't going to be for a few days yet, because once I've taken that apart I need to find out what I need to order to overhaul it. The problem is that
yeah, that's a lot of movement.
that's a lot of play, and this side didn't. If I'm moving what I would be doing there,
yeah,
moving the hub, this side doesn't move, but that side is excessive movement.
You can almost say it's not attached.
Yeah, so this is what was probably in a previous video. This was what they mentioned as an advisory.
Yeah, in the MOT update.
In the MOT. So when the weight was on the wheels, that play isn't there anymore. But as soon as you take the weight off, there's that play, and I'm not happy about driving the car until that's done. This was one of the bits that I didn't overhaul at the time because I didn't think I needed to.
Yeah.
The plays obviously happened, possibly been using it for the last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously in limited amounts because of COVID, but the bits I have done. So there's obviously something, I think something broken in there. There's supposed to be a spring in there, according to the 2CV overhaul book that I've got. I'll show you the colour so people know.
And the Haynes manual doesn't really say a lot anyway, does it?
No, the Haynes manual's rubbish.
So don't always believe a Haynes manual, guys.
So that's what I'm going by.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And eyeballs, really. So, right, let me go and get the tool I need. So I've got to take that cap out. So I made a tool to do that. And then hopefully I can split that off to get the arm out.
So yeah, as you can see, extensive play, and it's not good really, is it? But we'll prevail, as I said.
Work on the car out front of the house. And I jacked her up, put her on axle stands, and I had the boot lid open because I'm putting bits in the boot. When I then took this beam off, this axle, I couldn't close the boot because the angle of the car now meant that the boot lid was hitting the house. So the choice was, do I move the house? No. Can I move the car? No, because it's on axle stand with no wheels, no nothing. So I had to take the boot lid off. Sorry, start that again. Take the boot lid off. Try and say that after a few. Luckily on 2CV you can. Mr. Hudnut's probably shown you. You literally lift up and slide it off. So yes, so at the moment I have a loose boot lid on the car, and the only way to get in the boot is just literally just lift the boot lid off.
As I said yesterday, like a race car.
Like a race car, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a massive flat blade.
Yeah. That's a track rod end ball joint.
Right.
So that's for your steering from your rack, and that's literally a pivot point where this, as this turns, that moves that arm, and there's a ball in here, the spring and cups and whatever. And I thought, rather than undoing that at the moment, which will take forever and it's still quite rusty, and that's all set up, I'll try and see if I can get this undone. And Citroen say, and a load of the books say, use tool number blah 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 blah. Well, if I can get away with making something, I will. But it might not work.
What's the point buying tools when you can make them?
Yeah. Well, as my brother and dad always say, is that if it's not in my shed, or our shed, we don't need it.
That's very true, yeah. Well, there's still bits for Capri. You haven't had a Capri for God knows how long.
No, I found when I was looking for bits to do the job yesterday, I found a new old stock out seal for a Mark II, Mark III Capri. So, might have to try and sell that.
Yeah, you might get a few bob for that. Might get a bit for that, quite a bit.
Might do.
It's quite a sizable bit, chunk of rubber.
Yeah.
That is just really bad.
I mean, it's just ball joints and springs, and so if you imagine a ball, then you have a cup around it each side. Now, if that's all worn, and there's a spring in there, I mean, we might find this one moves a bit, but it didn't move as much as that one. Now, I wonder if this will work. Oh, you know what would help first? Undo the nuts and take them off.
Yeah, that would help.
Size you're in, 19, 17.
I'd say 17 looking at it. There's probably people screaming in the video already who say, no, that's a 22 or something like that. It's not going to be 22, it's too small. Or an 80. Bring them all. That's what I normally do.
Well, there's a 19, so we then know it's not that one.
But yeah.
And we are right.
Yeah, it's not a 19.
Not a 19.
It's smaller than a 19. It's going to be a 17 then, isn't it?
It's going to be a 17 the way how loose that was.
Although it being 2CV, it's probably a 16.
Yeah.
Or an odd-shaped 11. Yeah, Citroen do things weird. As you know.
And a 16.
Do you want to try it? So the puller is putting pressure.
Come on.
Did move a little bit there.
It should just all of a sudden pop. I think it's a taper.
Well, this is the original steering rack. It's been on there for multiple years.
Yeah.
Even don't use a hammer.
Engineer screwdriver.
Yeah. See? Perfect.
That's how you do that.
Like a glove.
There's taper, can't you? So that holds that end. That's where it's that way, and that hole's bigger. So it's a tapered hole.
So press fit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that there, what in the books class as the plunger, or is the plunger inside it?
No, the plunger's inside it.
So it's just a cap there.
This is a cap, and there's a spring, according to that book. There's a spring in here, and I think what it is, what it does, where your rack comes up to the steering, I suppose the rack and knurled toothy bit.
Yeah.
Someone's going to tell me to know that. The slider, the plunger, right, pushes up against the rack shaft.
Yeah.
Hold up against it. Right, so let's get the screwdriver. Wasn't tight.
No.
Which is good.
Yeah.
The track rod ends aren't really tight either, because you have to line them up to get a split pin through.
Yeah. So then there's a spring with the plunger.
That's the plunger, it looks like. Come out with my finger.
Won't need a magnet.
Won't need a magnet, no.
That was probably for the fact he needed the magnet due to it being on the car. So he probably couldn't get his hand right to it. Maybe, I don't know.
No more. Don't want any more creatures, please.
In case you weren't aware and you probably didn't realise, Socks the cat was going after a vole. And I managed to stop him. I think the vole got away. Hopefully.
I think he's showing off because he's on camera.
Yeah, he is a bit of a drama queen.
That looks worn to me. In that book they show you, can you see that? There you go, there's that.
That's better.
In that video, in that book, sorry, they show what a worn one looks like and a new one.
Yeah.
Well, that looks very much like the worn one. There's quite a lot of polishing on there. So I'm wondering, is there a grease nickel on these things?
So far you need plunger.
Them bits, so
Those
far.
ones over there. Still see the rubber bit.
There's a couple of split pins there as well.
Yeah.
That I need. And now one of those.
What's the spring like?
Spring looks alright.
It does look good, doesn't it?
Cap would be fine.
Yeah.
So that and that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it all together.
Yeah.
Always good to have old screwdrivers.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't get cold chisels into certain places. And rather than destroying your nice new screwdrivers.
Use an oldie.
So that's an old one as well.
The Stanley, isn't it?
Yeah. About donkeys. That's probably about 30 years old, that one.
Probably as old as this rag.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, of course. 11.
Citroen, isn't it? Keep
Yeah.
getting that. We're using
Normal.
yeah.
Normal sizes. Citroens don't do normal. Dear. But that's extremely gooey. Drums.
One steering rack. Oh, I see. Another cap.
Oh, I see,
Another
yeah.
split pin. I remember reading that in there now.
So what do you think so far, looking at it now, is causing one side to be extremely loose than the other?
Which way round?
Or is that right? Yeah.
You don't feel loose. I mean, that one's not moving at all. But that's it moving in there. I don't know. I'm wondering, could it have been that rattle rubber?
Hmm.
But now it's all out. Hey, now it's all out. I might as well keep going.
Yeah.
Cap. Okay. Now that's one of the cups for the ball joint. Now they're the same things as what's in the track rod ends.
Yeah.
You'll be away.
That could be one.
That could be worn. Obviously, you know, it's easier to move something when you've got leverage, so like when you've got the arm on it.
Yeah.
There's a bit of wear on there.
Yeah. Again, not excessive.
That's a lot. Oh, that's a collar.
Excuse the noisy neighbours.
I don't know what they're doing.
It's not consistent drilling, whatever it is.
No. Yeah, he finally got it out. Interesting to see the difference.
Yeah. So that whole thing consisted of a plunger,
I've still got another cup yet to get out somehow.
Well, and a cup. How many cups? There's 3 cups, isn't it?
Should be 4, I think.
4 cups, okay. A spring, obviously the 2 ball jointy bits. A collar. Which all of them could have some form of wear.
Well, if you look, if you pick that up on there, there's a lip on that drive.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Because that is what guides it along here.
Yeah.
So if that's worn,
it's going to wobble. Grease everywhere. Not to, I would consider, used ball mounts.
Yeah, I would have thought there would have been a grease, as I said earlier, grease nipple somewhere on this.
Yeah. I would have thought every time you got to grease it, you've got to take the whole thing apart just to grease it. Seems a bit excessive. Clever bit of kit though.
That one didn't want to come out of that bit.
Good gloves. Sounds like they're still trying to fight you.
There we go. Yeah. Well, think of it as this, right? This is a 1983 2CV. So this has probably never ever been done.
No.
Seems new. Camper is 1970.
Yeah.
And it's not a steering rack, it's a steering box. It's all gears in a box. Well, I've had the thing 23 years and I've never overhauled it. And the camper vans are known to have sloppy steering anyway. So there could be a time I'm going to need to do something with that.
Yeah.
Now, how the hell...
And you'll see it here on this channel.
Do I get that cup out of there?
Is that right? Yeah.
Because... Oh, it is. I think it is. And there we go.
Lovely. So that should be all the bits out now, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that's the wrong side. So that went there. That went there. Come back here. That went there. That went there. Come back. Okay. And that's all the bits out.
Yeah. It's quite a lot for something only that size.
Yeah.
So yeah, that ends part 1 for dismantling the steering rack. And yeah, that was quite eventful, wasn't it? Quite good fun. Quite straightforward, I would say, actually, as well. Would you say that as well?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, it's
reasonably straightforward.
We haven't worked out why one side was really loose.
Yeah, so it's full of mystery.
It's still full of mystery. I'm wondering as if the spring has given up a little bit and it's not as tall as a new one.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll get hold of an overhaul kit. And take it from there, really.
Yeah, and that will be in the next instalment. So
hopefully,
yeah. It might be a little bit of a while, wouldn't it?
It might be. I've got to order the parts. Yeah, order the parts. Work out what I need to buy, and take it from there, really. Yeah.
So it could be this video goes out, and then there's going to be other videos on other vehicles. And then this one will, the next instalment of this will then.
I mean, if it's taken a long time, then it might be worth putting this one out early as part 1.
Yeah. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're interested in watching this kind of thing that we're doing here, exploration, and just semi-head scratching our heads. And so yeah, so if you could, you can go please watch my other videos and subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. And like and comment. Cheers guys.
Cheers.